when God gives them the covenant, and they're united with him by two things: the covenant of the law, their acceptance of the covenant, and the blood sign that came as a rite of circumcision. And I think I'm correct when I say this, that Israel was never a pure race of people. They were rather a combination of the Hebrews, the Semites, who came out of the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who came in 70, it says in Exodus, in Stephen's defense in Acts chapter 7, he says 75, but 70 or so persons came in to Egypt. When they left out, some estimate they were 2 million strong. 600,000 men, or rather men, and the rest women and children. But Exodus 12:38 says, does anybody know what Exodus 12:38 said? Fine. Hey! I wish y'all could see me. I'm sitting in these stools here. And you can see me sitting in these stools here at our table.
They will in a minute.
And she said she'll be able to see you in a minute. My wife's videotaping this thing, but y'all got me rocking and twitching. I'm getting it. Yes, Exodus 12:38. Mixed multitude. Yeah, a mixed multitude. When they left Egypt. And listen, y'all not going to have me on a whole nother Bible study. I'm excited, but that everybody, the only dark people in a Cleopatra movie are the ones carrying her around. And Cleopatra is as light as Elizabeth Taylor. That's a lie from the pit of hell. There is nobody who looked like Elizabeth Taylor in Africa until the 1800s, when the Europeans came in, defeated the Zulus, and they took over South Africa. Every person who is indigenous to Africa is darker skinned. The Bible says that when Jesus was running, when they were trying to get away from Herod, when he was trying to kill him, when he massacred the infants and he was trying to kill Jesus, killing everybody, all the males 2 years and under, that he went into Africa and hid. Now, I'm not saying Jesus was an African with dreadlocks, but it's clear that he had to be darker. You couldn't hide in Egypt if you were European looking. And all the people from that area were of the... Anyway, the point being this. You're talking about Exodus chapter 3 and verse 2. And what you opened up was this. We're talking about the Exodus and how they got out and how they were not a pure race of people. But that mixed multitude, and you have to go and read Exodus chapters 12 and 13 regarding the directions for the Passover. And included in there are regulations or instructions about how to receive the stranger, the one who was of non-Hebrew, non-Semitic origin. And obviously, God was doing something greater in that context. He was fulfilling his word, bringing his people out, but he was doing something greater than just showing up in a region. I contend this, that the birthplace of mankind had to be in that area, around in Africa. I contend that. When the modern nation of Israel was formed, the modern nation of Israel, I believe back 1940, I always get this date wrong, 43 or 45, but the United Nations was even considering establishing Israel in Africa. After considering establishing the modern state of Israel in Africa. But it's clear, and if you read Genesis chapters, we can't get through Genesis chapters 1, 2, and 3 without understanding that there were rivers that flowed from Eden to the rest of the world, and they mentioned the Nile and the Euphrates. The Nile and the Euphrates, which come out of Africa. Yeah. And if anybody, I don't, like I say, you're not going to take me to another Bible study, but the ancient name for the continent of Africa